Charles Xavier's dream for mutant kind may have started with the X-Men, but that was only the beginning, because Professor X also founded a second younger team of students, the New Mutants. And now they're getting their own movie, so let's take a look back at the history of this young X-Men team. Here's everything you need to know about the New Mutants. By the early 80s, the X-Men was Marvel's top-selling comic. Not surprisingly, the company wanted to expand on the Merry Mutants' popularity with a second series. But X-Men writer Chris Claremont and editor Louise Jones were resistant at first. They wanted to keep the X-Men special. Jones would later recall, but editor-in-chief Jim Shooter told them that if they didn't create the new X-book, he'd have someone else do it. And so the X-Babies, as Claremont and Jones jokingly called the new creation, was born. The idea was to get back to X-Men creators Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's original concept, that of a school for young mutants. First appearing in a 1982 graphic novel by co-creators Claremont and Bob McLeod, this new class was brought to Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters in the wake of what the professor thought was the death of his X-Men. Of course, he was wrong and Wolverine and the gang would soon return. But in the meantime, there were 5 new students who needed to be trained. Karma was a Vietnamese girl who could control the minds and bodies of others. She was also the first leader of the New Mutants before seemingly being killed in an early mission. Cannonball was a coal miner from Kentucky with the power to become an almost invulnerable human rocket. He would become the co-leader of the team eventually, alongside Mirage, aka Psyche. She was a Native American with the ability to create 3D illusions, including visualizations of people's greatest fears and desires. Wolfsbane was a mutant werewolf from Scotland. She could turn into a wolf or assume a semi-wolf state. Finally, Sunspot came from a wealthy Brazilian family. He stored solar energy in his body and channeled it into super strength. This group was not unlike the original X-Men, who had also been drafted as teenagers but had since grown to adulthood. They also mirrored the second-generation X-Team, which was much more ethnically and culturally diverse. The initial mission statement of the New Mutants was to learn how to live with their powers and help society accept mutant kind. But of course, they got into all kinds of trouble too. After the first graphic novel, the team got their own series in 1983. Several other mainstay members would soon join as well, including Cypher, who could understand any language, Magma, blessed with lava powers, Magic, the teleporting sorcerer sister of the X-Man Colossus, and Warlock, a young shape-shifting techno-organic alien. In time, Professor Xavier left his school and the Earth entirely to go hang out with his space girlfriend. Yes, seriously. So Magneto, who had basically become a good guy during this period, took over Xavier's school and became the New Mutants' new headmaster. While the book took place alongside Uncanny X-Men, the New Mutants focused more on the angsty problems of teen life, while still depicting a variety of crazy adventures. And when artist Bill Sienkiewicz joined the title, he brought an experimental and visually imaginative edge to the series that some fans hated, but many loved. The team faced many foes over the years, including the Viper and Silver Samurai, the psychic vampire Selene, a weird spirit creature called the Demon Bear, and even the troubled son of Xavier, Legion. But the enemy they came up against the most was the Hellfire Club, which at the time had telepath Emma Frost running a rival school for mutants with its own young team, the Hellions. Eventually, Claremont and Sienkiewicz left the book, and by 1989, sales were lagging. But when young artist Rob Liefeld joined the series, his art and the creation of the character Cable proved to be a big boost for the comic. He was also the harbinger of what was to become a trend in the industry of the 1990s. Big dudes with big muscles and big guns. And usually a bunch of big pouches too. It was during this period that Liefeld also created Deadpool, and soon his popularity got him full control of the New Mutants on both story and art. In 1991, he and Marvel ended the book with issue number 100 in order to relaunch a mostly new version of the team as X-Force, with Liefeld's more militaristic take on the group front and center. It was a huge hit. Other variations of the New Mutants would follow eventually, first with the new series in 2003 and then with another in 2009, which reunited many of the earliest members. And while a variety of other characters have served on one incarnation of the team or another, it's those original faces who are most representative of the New Mutants, a series that was the first, but certainly not the last, expansion of the larger X universe. For all things New Mutants, X-Men, and comics, keep it right here on IGN.